Brandon, Eric, I totally resent that. I hate y'all so much. Welcome to Starcaster Remarks. Along with Chris and James, my name is Ryan. And yes, Brandon and Eric are debating on how well my internet is going out. And they're debating what the over-under is for the amount of times that I freeze tonight. It's probably going to be quite a bit. But who cares about that? Stars pull out the win tonight, boys. They win by a final score of 3-2 over the Nashville Cats. How are y'all doing?
Great now. I mean, I think we should start monetizing that over and under, though. I mean, we got to get something going.
Yeah, I guess we got to get DraftKings Sportsbook to do a little betting line for us, right?
Exactly. It's called DraftKings.
Yep. Well, speaking of DraftKings, thanks to them for being the sponsor of this episode and all of THPN. Go and use that promo code THPN next time you're there. Anyways, initial thoughts, you guys. A little bit of okay, heck yeah, to begin the game, and a little bit of holy crap in the second period, and then third period even more holy crap because of just I don't know, just the scariness and the anticipation that's killing me inside. What did y'all think of the game as a whole?
Yeah, the Stars sandwiched a pretty terrible period with two really good ones, I thought. So I was really happy with the way they started. I was especially worried about that coming off of the 3-day break, and they just flew into Nashville today because of the CBA agreement. But obviously, that didn't affect them at all, scoring right off the bat, and they should have scored multiple times in the first period. That was probably one of the bad parts about the game is that they didn't capitalize more when they were totally outplaying the Nashville. And then the second period was equally as bad in Nashville's favor. And they dominated us the whole time. And Stars came right back at him in the third period. And then Saros stood on his head. And we still found a way to get one past him in the last minute. So that's the rundown real quick.
Yeah, and I pretty much agree with that. It's just, it was two tales of two different games, honestly. It was the Stars dominating for the first period and third period, and then the Predators dominating for the second period. And both times that both teams broke down, the goaltenders were pretty great.
So overall, really good game, scary game. They faced adversity. They came up on top. That's all that really matters at this point, for me at least. That's the biggest takeaway. But getting into this game here, sorry, did y'all have anything?
Nope.
No, I thought I heard somebody say something. Anyways, okay. Otter getting the start here. We talked about very briefly on Sunday on Christmas night about who to get called up, and it appears that Fredrik Olofsson, who was not on our radar at all, is the one that gets called up, and he starts on the fourth line. And I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it now since I mentioned him, but I thought he was absolutely fantastic tonight. I mean, noticeable in every facet of the game.
It's a miracle he didn't score. I mean, he had 3 amazing chances and didn't bury any of them.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that might be concerning is the time on ice that he had, but I'm positive a huge part of that is because of the 8 penalties that were in the game.
For sure.
Yeah, but he only ends up playing 9.5 minutes pretty much.
Wow, that's actually very surprising to me that he only played 9.5 minutes and he was impactful as he was. I mean, there was numerous times that I wrote his name down in my notes tonight, and that's something that you couldn't say of Riley Tufte when Riley Tufte was called up. Tufte was okay, but he was just not noticeable enough in order to, continue playing up with the big clubs. So
yeah,
I mean, Olofsson should stay. He should definitely stay after the way that he played this game tonight.
And honestly, with what I saw from tonight, I thought he should have been on the line instead of Kiviranta being on the line with Sagan.
Agreed.
Dad mentioned something about that too. He's actually here in West Texas. So, but he said that he thinks that Olofsson should be playing with Sagan too. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
I just like the way Kiwi's game works is not purely based off of his skill. And that's obvious from him having 5 goals and 0 assists. He's not going to help anyone on that line. He might score a goal every 10th game.
10th game.
Yeah, I think the other thing is that we tried everyone there. Everyone on our roster, we have tried to play with Sagan and it hasn't worked. So try somebody else.
Well, let me shift a little bit. Have you liked that I guess you can call the third line of Sagan, Dellandrea, and Kiviranta? Because I thought tonight they still played really well. They didn't
I
finish like we wanted
It
to, but they
it
still
was a
played.
it was a it was a lot better tonight, but it also has sucked several times since they've been paired together. So
yeah.
they've been
I
real hot
I
and cold.
don't I don't think they played bad tonight, but you want to see still scoring from that third line, and that's something that we still have not seen from them. They're getting chances now, but you have to be able to score them, and it's something that Kiwi is probably not going to do hardly ever, and Delandria just doesn't have that great of a shot. I mean, we're looking at Sagan to score right now, and it doesn't look like he's going to score as much as we want him to. So we need another person that can do something else other than just maybe get a goal.
He needs like a Zuccarello kind of person to play with
Or
him,
Bo
because
Horvat.
Bo Horvat. Man, I can't talk. Okay. Anyways, getting into the first period here, uh, puck is bouncing a lot in the first minute, and then right off the bat, about a minute and 20 seconds in, Ben scores right off the bench with the Sagan line forcing the turnover, and it was just a great shot. It was a great play. Ben looked like absolute beast mode Ben there. That was the first time I think I've seen beast mode Ben in a while.
And that's wrong. He's been beast mode been the whole season. He's been fantastic. I mean, he's been so good. Tonight, especially, I think this was one of his better games, even though he only gets the one goal and obviously Rope has the two. But I think Ben had a bigger impact in this game. He was fantastic.
And right after that, they mentioned that Jamie Benn is actually on a 30-goal pace. I mean, that's way more than we expected from him at the beginning of the season.
That's after
Yeah.
starting this first 10 games with 0 goals.
Mhm. And it showed how good his month of November really was, and how well he's played in December too.
His December is still good, yeah.
So going on from there, Miller can't hold the line 17 and a half minutes in, and they put up this stat line, and I'm hoping that this continues. We need some wood to knock on or something. I don't have any in this closet, but Dallas has only used 25 different players this year, and that's tied for fewest in the NHL. And I think that is a really big point as to why the Stars have been so successful this year, is because they've been able, for the most part, to stay very consistent with their lines, very consistent with the people that they have, and on the D pairs as well. Do you think that has some significance to their success this season?
Absolutely, it does. But the two injuries we have been two pretty big injuries too. Though we lost Miro and Ottinger for a while so far this season, and the way we responded to both of those was very good. So yeah, that has something to do with us being at the top and being so consistent for sure. But I also don't think it's like that's our crutch. That's the only reason we're good is because we haven't had any injuries.
And also some of it comes from us shifting away from the bonus style of hockey that we were playing, which is just grind the other team down, to we're trying to just go for offense now. We're trying to use our legs a lot more to win games rather than putting our bodies on the line. And I mean, we still see the shot blocks every now and then, but it is nowhere near the extent that it was last year.
And that's a good point, James, because especially shot blocks, that seems to be the way that a lot of people get hurt. And thankfully, that hasn't been the case this season. We've seen people get bumps and bruises, but not too much. So, anyways, there was a good shift by Sagan. 16 minutes in, the third line was really good. I'm just calling the Sagan line the third line now. Johnston has a turnover, but he gets it right back. So he kind of cleans up his own mess. First time I write Olafson's name down. He has an extreme angle chance, and it was a good shift by that fourth line about 5 minutes in. And going into the first TV timeout, I thought Dallas was the better team, and they were completely 100% dominating through the first 6 minutes. Is that something y'all noticed?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, going on from there, Niederreiter, who was the only noticeable Predator going through the first period, had a chance in front. Dallas is pressuring a lot on the puck. Otter is turning aside a couple of Nashville shots. There was a redirect chance by Jankowski for Nashville. 3 great chances by the Sagan line 10 minutes in. And it started with Dellandrea pickpocketing one of the defensemen for the Nashville Predators. So good play by Dellandrea there. But again, like we've talked about, really good shift, but not being able to finish. 6.5 minutes into the period, remaining in the period, Niederreiter gets another chance, and again, he's the only Nashville player really doing anything up to this point. There's a McDonough blast, which I was like, holy crap, the guy can shoot. Marchment forces a turnover. Ben has a shot. Johnson with the tip. So that second line doing really good things. Dallas would get a power play at 5 minutes remaining in the first period. And I want to know what y'all thought about this. I thought the first 15 minutes of the game, Dallas completely dominated. And regardless of whether the Stars had a power play or whether they were on the penalty kill, I think that was actually a detriment to them rather than a positive thing. I mean, especially with all of the shorthanded rushes that Nashville had on Dallas power plays.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense. As one of the best special teams in the league, that should be where we gain our momentum, not where we lose it. So that was really frustrating tonight.
Yeah.
A little bit of foreshadowing there into the second period too.
For sure.
James, sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, that is pretty much all I was saying too.
So Dallas at this point, they're 7 of their last 15, and both units are converting. So it's not just the first line, it's the second line as well. And they were 1 for 21 before that. So obviously they're on a hot streak right now on their power play. Seguin has a one-timer blast, which we haven't seen a lot at all on the power play. And it's good to see that. It's not the first time he would do that tonight. There's a big rebound, but Foxa couldn't get to it. Nashville does kill it off. Dallas gets another power play for the same reason, delay a game. Josi has a shot from the left wing side after they kill off the power play, and then Dallas will go on the penalty kill, 15 seconds remaining in the first period. It's Hawk and Paw. So overall, going into the first intermission, what did y'all think?
Happy. I thought we should have scored more goals. That was my only issue.
Yeah, I was upset that we didn't end up scoring on either of the delay game calls at the end of the period, because that's a big mistake, just even having one, and they gave us 2 and we didn't score on either. So that was definitely a big problem, and it left a big cloud over what was otherwise a pretty great first period.
So the only thing I really wrote was that they just couldn't gain momentum off their power play. I mean, that was really it the last 5 minutes. Otherwise, they dominated that period. Going into the second, Nashville takes a penalty, and it goes 4-on-4 for a short period of time. And during the 4-on-4, it's Philip Forsberg who scores off of a big rebound. And it was really frustrating at that point because I was like, man, we had all that good momentum in the first 15 minutes of the first. And regardless of what happened now, it's 1-1.
Yeah. Frustrating is the right word. That's the only good thing I had.
18 and a half minutes remaining in the second period after that goal. Suter with a really great defensive play with his stick. He kind of had a mixed bag game tonight, if you ask me. He had more good defensive plays than he had bad defensive plays, but that's the first one I wrote down. Did y'all notice any of that?
The bad defensive plays were real bad, though.
But, I mean, that one could have led to another goal, and that would have been 2-1 Nashville right there. So you got to give him credit where credit's due, in my opinion. But you are right, Chris. You are right to a certain extent. Literally about a minute after that, Hintz would score off of a redirection off of Robo's shot. So Dallas goes up 2-1. Hintz with the perfect goal. It's the third goal in a row where Hintz scores off a redirection from Robo's shot.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, Hintz is just on right now. It's crazy.
He's on fire. $8 million man for real.
Dallas would go on the penalty kill for the first time. It's holding on Foxa. Seguin had a shorthanded chance. There's another good deep zone play by Suter, and the Dallas penalty kill would do their job. 5 minutes into the second period, shots are 13-12 Dallas. So it's kind of evened up a little bit more after Dallas had the upper hand. Ottawa would make a save. Dallas would go back on the power play. It's holding on Josi. And this is where we saw 2 shorthanded chances for the Nashville Predators, which really frustrated me. The first one was Jankowski. He had a 2-on-1 opportunity, and Otter makes a really good save there. And then the second one cost the Stars a goal. It's 2-2 at this point. Jakob Trenin scores, and I couldn't tell if it rode up Suter's stick or if Suter got his stick on it in some way. I don't know what y'all saw, but Trenin definitely used Suter as a screen there.
I don't think it I don't think it matters at that point. It's just you can't give up those rushes when you're a man up.
Yeah, that's for sure. But also, weak defense by Suter can't happen either. I mean, that's weak.
And then after that, we're halfway through the second period, and the shots are 15-13 Nashville. So Nashville starting to take over the game, especially after having 2 goals, and it could have been worse.
For sure.
There was a 2-on-1 opportunity for Dallas, and I just wrote Glendenning's just not allowed to score. He's just not.
No.
He's not allowed to score at all. William Carrier would have a shot and another rebound, but no chance for Nashville. And I want to stop here for a split second. I thought Otter had a really good game tonight, but I have some criticism on him. It seemed like there were a lot of rebound chances on him tonight, and either he wasn't as clean with his rebounds as he normally is, or the Stars were just not getting to the rebound chances. Am I crazy, or is that something that y'all noticed as well?
I kind of disagree with that. I thought we didn't clear
That's
it
fair.
as well. I think overall defense wasn't very good, but I saw multiple times where Otter had some good rebound control. Mostly, I wouldn't say I don't think he held on to as many, but a lot of like hard kicks to the boards, hard blocker punches out, stuff like that is what I saw.
James, you notice anything?
I, of course, agree with Chris. You are crazy.
Screw y'all both. No, I'm just kidding. At this point, we're 9 minutes remaining in the second. Dallas is getting outshot 9-2, and it's at this point it's all Nashville, and it's the tale of 2 periods at this point, with Dallas dominating the first and Nashville dominating the second.
Yeah, and Otter really hung on to it in the last 10 minutes of that second period. I mean, he's the only reason that the game was tied going into the third. Fantastic job by him.
And that's what I was going to mention. In the last 10 minutes, it was all Ottinger. There was a Jankowski opportunity where he was all alone in front. Dallas would go on the penalty kill, and Roman Josi would have a chance. Johansson had to have a redirection chance. I think at one point, Jakob Trinan had a chance as well. But in the last 3 minutes, Hintz had a shot. Otter was forced to make 2 saves, including one of them being a rebounder. So it was a great opportunity for Nashville there. And then in the last 12 seconds of the period, Dallas will go on the power play, and they would get more power play time going into the third period. So what did y'all think about the second period? I had a paragraph here, and I'll wait until I get to hear y'all's thoughts.
I'll keep it short then. It was bad.
Yeah. It was bad, and the penalties were breaking up everything. So the play was kind of, or the game flow was choppy. But regardless, the Stars played bad in it.
Nashville played way better that period than the Stars did. Their head coach kind of tore them a new one, in my opinion, because they were a totally different team, 100% different team. And I thought that the Stars were very lucky that it was only 2-2 after the second period, just like Nashville was lucky that it was only 1-0 after the first. And Otter was the big reason for that. He made numerous saves that I thought could have easily been goals. And the only other thing I wrote was that Dallas just needs to clear the rebounds up, because Ottinger is playing well. Yes, even if I thought he was giving up some big rebounds, he's making the first save, and the defense needs to get to that second opportunity. They need to get to there first. So that was my paragraph there. But anyway, going into the third period, they're starting with the power play. Robo has a one-timer, and Suter would have a really bad turnover on that power play, and yet more screwing up by the power play and giving Nashville chances on the penalty kill, which was a big, big, big thing in tonight's game. I don't know what y'all thought about that overall, but I was really frustrated, especially with that.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yeah. Nothing to say there. Foxa and Pavelski would both have chances 17.5 minutes through. It goes through Saros's blue paint. So it goes behind Saros, but out the other direction. And it was from behind the lower red line. Olofsson would have some pressure that would lead to some zone time for Dallas. So again, Olofsson making his presence known in tonight's game. Marchment would have a chance in a tip, and there was another Dallas one-timer that they're starting to get some momentum going. They're starting to get some stuff going again after that really bad second period. And then I wrote, Olsen has played really well. He had a great game today. And that was my acknowledgement of him there. 10 minutes remaining. Forsberg would have a shot. There was a save by Otter there. And 9 minutes remaining. Olofsson with like a prime scoring chance. I don't blame him for it because it's his first game in the National Hockey League this season. But man, if he had just gotten that opportunity, wouldn't that be great for him? He just shoots it wide. And I'm just sitting there grabbing my hair at that point, and I'm like, oh, if only.
Yeah, I thought that was it. I thought, man, we found the guy to replace Gurionov. As soon as he caught that puck, he dropped it. I was like, all right, put the nail in the coffin. Sails it wide by about
Just
6
barely.
inches.
Kiviranta would have a chance. Hintz would have a chance. Johnston would have a wraparound chance. There's another good D-zone play by Suter with 6.5 minutes remaining. 6 minutes remaining. The first line gets a shot off the rush. Dallas will go on a power play, and the refs were not calling anything in the third period, but that was the easiest thing to call, honestly, on Seguin. I mean, what are you supposed to do there? Seguin, his hands are up in Sagan's face. The puck is long gone. It's like 10 feet away at this point in the zone. And I mean, it almost looked like for a split second that they weren't going to call it. And then they were like, okay, fine. Yeah, it's really obvious.
It was not his hands. It was an elbow. It was a flying elbow to the face where the puck was gone. So
And
what me and James were talking about, which was frustrating, is if Sagan's hurt on that play, it's a 5-minute major and a game misconduct. But just because Sagan got up so quick, it's only a 2-minute minor. I mean, that's a thing that happens all the time in hockey, but it's just weird.
Yeah. And it's even more frustrating because the play happens because they just stop calling penalties in the third. I mean, if you're still calling the bad ones, because they weren't even calling like the really obvious ones, it had to be a elbow to the face when the puck wasn't even there for them to call it. So if they just call anything, like I think it was Marchman and one other person who like had a shift where they were both like hitting each other really bad. If they just call offsetting minors there, then the game will calm down a lot there. And that's just, it's just poor game management from the refs, in my opinion there.
Yeah. Officials not doing their job.
Well, if you're the Dallas Stars, I don't think you want to go 4-on-4 against Nashville, at least after the first goal they scored.
No, but you also don't want to be put in a position where Tyler Seguin takes an elbow to the face.
And that is true,
That's
too.
worse.
That is true, too. And, of course, since this is a game where Dallas is just giving up shorthanded chances, 10 seconds into said power play for Dallas Stars, there's a really big save by Ottinger. That, I think, was... Even though it was only 5 minutes remaining at this point, I think that was the big turning point in the game for the Dallas Stars. After the terrible game they played in the second period, there are really good opportunities in the third. Ottinger saves the day there. And then they go the opposite direction. They get 2 chances. One by Ben, the other by Seguin. We see that one-timer again by Seguin. Keep it up, Seguin. We want to see it more. Nashville does kill it off, though. And then Hintz, the miracle man that he is, the superstar that he is, he gets a goal with less than a minute remaining to not only give the Stars a 2-point game, but not give a point to a division rival in the Nashville Predators. And, you know, real quick, it is Hintz that gets the goal here, and he gets his second of the game. But it's really Pavelski who deserves all the credit here. After the board battle that he wins, the puck battle that he wins, and he takes an awkward angle shot to get it towards the net, and that's all that's required to allow Hintz to get that opportunity to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, disagree. I go back even further. Jamie Benn is the one who deserves all the credit. Jamie Benn, at the end of his shift, goes 1v3, chips the puck in, goes around 2 guys, battles the last guy for the puck, gets it to Pavelski, who wins it, and then does what you say, Ryan. Yeah. So... As the Jamie Benn denier that Ardell calls me, Jamie Benn was fantastic. That's another big reason. Yeah. Acknowledged there. That's another big reason why he was just so fantastic tonight. That play at the end, that's beast mode Ben. He doesn't need to be scoring the goals. He's the guy who takes on 3 players on his own and gets the puck. That guy, that is the captain of the Dallas Stars right there.
And that was really that was all the Stars fight in one shift at the end. And Ben goes in, tries to win the puck, gets it over to Pavelski. Pavelski wins it off the boards, takes a shot. Then it goes to Ben. Ben takes a shot. It bounces off the goalie again, goes to Hintz, and Hintz finally buries it. So that's just all 3 players trying as hard as they possibly can to win the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic play by Ben, by Pavelski, by Hintz. And this is the kind of thing that we didn't see a lot at the beginning of the season, is these close games. And yeah, it's against the Nashville Predators, but the Predators were playing well, especially in the second period, and they were doing okay in the third period. So they faced some adversity, and they did. They did what they needed to do, and Stars get the win with a final score of 3-2. Let's get into what happened in tonight's game. What happened in tonight's game?
Otter is great. Ben is better.
Yeah, it was a great night for goaltending, but also one other thing I kind of wanted to point out was, and I think it's the reason why our power play was not very good tonight. The faceoffs ending tonight was 44-55 or 56. So that's really bad for the Stars. Normally we are at least tied, if not winning, the faceoff battle every night. And it felt like on a lot of our power plays, we lost the first faceoff, and then we talk about this before. Our zone entries are just not that great on the power play. Most of the time, we are able to just win the faceoff and start the cycle from there. And then if the goaltender saves it, we just win the faceoff again. That's how our power play works. If we're not winning faceoffs off of those, that's when we see what we kind of did tonight.
Agreed. Good point. I like that.
Yeah, that was going to be my thing too. It's just the thing. I like to look at things positively, but at the same time, I want to look at all of the shorthanded chances that Nashville had tonight. Because one of the things that Dallas is proud about this season is they have not given up very many shorthanded goals. And we saw a shorthanded goal tonight. And not just the shorthanded goal. Yeah, it's only their second of the year. That's true. And the other one they gave up to Connor Dewar, I think from Minnesota. And there was just so many shorthanded chances for the Nashville Predators tonight. And they got away unscathed for the most part, but that's something that they need to fix for the next game. And whether it's against the next team or whether they play Nashville again a couple months from now, they need to fix that before they play them again.
For sure.
So that's my biggest takeaway. But let's get into biggest winner, biggest loser tonight. What did y'all think?
Y'all already know I'm going with Jamie Benn. He was fantastic. The first goal, shoot the wrist shot. I've said that for like 3 years now. He's doing it a lot this year, and it is fantastic. What a shot! And then just the power forward at the end of the game was so cool. That's what I think of when I think of Jamie Benn, is stuff like that.
I'm gonna take the obvious one. I'm taking Rope Hintz. The dude is on fire. It's another 2-goal game for him, and it's another game winner. I mean, he's as soon as Robertson kind of dropped off in the goal department, he picked it right back up. I mean, that's what's so great about that first line, is one like slightly falls off, and then another one catches fire, and they're the best person on our team.
That's why they've been so good for 3 straight years now.
Honorable mention to Fredrik Olofsson for me tonight, because he was very noticeable tonight in the short amount of time that he was given tonight. And if he continues that, I think he's going to be staying with the team, and Dennis Gurianov is going to get the slack. He's going to get scratched because he's playing great, and all 4 lines I've thought looked really, really good tonight. I want to see a little bit more, I guess, contribution. I guess they need to actually like score. They need to actually score. I'm not thinking of the right word right now, but they need to actually score and not just get chances. But for tonight, my execution. Thank you. The actual person I want to go with is Jay Gottinger tonight, because he played epically in that second period when the Stars were back on their heels. And if it wasn't for his second period outing and how well he did, this game is not. I mean, we could have been down 4-2 at that point going into the second intermission against a really bad Nashville Predators team. So that would have been very frustrating.
And all 3 of those,
and I'm glad you actually.
It's a good job.
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed out Otter, because since the December 10th, the Detroit game, he has only had 1 save percentage below a 920, and that was the game against Edmonton. So he has he has 6
And that's
games
okay because it's
now.
Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So
Yeah,
I'll
he
give him
has 6
slack on that one.
games with well over 900 save percentage. He's very much back now. It's great to see.
Back to Vezina caliber.
Yeah. And just real quick before we move on to Biggest Loser, I did want to shout out Miro Heiskanen because Heiskanen had a much, much better game. And it seems that the 3 days of rest did a lot for him.
All right. And do your Biggest Loser real quick because we got new baby in the background.
Okay. Biggest Loser, Foxa. Foxa hate train continues. He had 3 scoring chances and he didn't even look close.
Oh, come on. I hate how much you hate Foxa. Anyway, James, go quick.
Biggest Loser, NHL 3 stars, but not for the reason you're thinking. It's because they picked them before the game actually ends. So the stars would actually end up being whoever scores the game winner as the first star. Then they were going to give Stars the second, and Trenin, right?
Trenin.
Yeah, I got there. He got the third one, which makes sense because he scored the shorthanded that tied the game.
You needed one more in.
Yeah, one more. Trenin. Okay. Anyways, Biggest Loser tonight. I don't know. I don't have one. Sorry.
Ryan says Foxa too. All right.
No, I don't say Foxa. All right. You guys say hi to baby Allison over here. I keep. There you go. There's baby Allison. And Padre Chambers also in the background. You scared me there for a second. I had no idea you were going to be in the background. But wait, where's Amanda? Is she back there too? No, she already left away. All right, well.
She's gone.
There's the baby number 3 in the Chambers clan. We're really happy. She's doing good. She's kind of awake.
She looks awake.
Yeah, she's kind of awake. All right. Anyways, anything else we need to mention, you guys?
Big game in Minnesota.
Stars are 1 point away from top of the West as of now. Golden Knights are playing right now, and they're tied.
Oh, and the Coyotes are 5-3 against the Avalanche with 1 minute left.
Very good.
What?
Yeah.
1 minute.
That is one of the biggest surprises of the season that Arizona has done.
Yeah, Coyotes they're not bad anymore. They're not good.
I know, right?
They're not good. Don't get me wrong.
But
they're not bad. They are not bad.
They're not Chicago bad. They're not Chicago bad. There you go. Right. Okay, guys. We're gonna wrap it up here tonight. We'll be back with you guys again tomorrow night. We gonna do that tomorrow night, guys? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night, because we got a lot to talk about, especially with this game. This game was fantastic. Well, go and check out sarcasticremarksshop.com. Yes, there is a bath mat. Chris, no, there was no shower curtain.
Toothbrushes.
And go and check out sarcasticremarks.com, a brand new website. We're going to be putting up some more content there as well for blog posts and other stuff. We got some guests that we're going to be having coming on hopefully very soon. And when we get to that and when it's all solidified, we will, of course, let you guys know. And as always, with Chris and James, my name is Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. And we hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening to this. Chris, take us out.
GG boys. I love you.